Hi, this is Derek with Knives Ship Free. It's exciting to be in the knife world today because there are so many great knives. And if you're into one different kind of knife, you're likely to spill over into another. And lately, there's been a big resurgence in traditional knives. And people who are used to modern folders are coming over and starting to buy traditional slip joints. And I think they're a little bit confused sometimes. You see, you can't judge a traditional knife by the same standards that you might judge a modern folder because these are two completely different knives. Imagine you'd been reading on the internet about a new old bicycle where they're building it just like they used to, and they got all the details right, the handlebars, the paint, the tires, the seat, maybe they even put a horn on it. And they built it with the same tools and in the same way that they used to build those old-time bicycles. And people rave about how great and how nice these bicycles are. And some people even say they are the Ferrari of bicycles. So you go out and buy one. And the anticipation just kills you while you wait. But then it arrives. And you jump in your Ferrari and you head down to the shop to pick it up. You tear into the box with anticipation. And you know that this bicycle is going to be as nice as your Ferrari. And you open it up, and the first thing that you notice about this thing is that the paint is not that deep, clear, cherry red that your Ferrari is. And there's no motor at all here. You have to pedal the thing, and the tires don't look like racing tires in that seat. I mean, it looks like it could chafe you. And the final straw, you get on it, and you can't even do 0 to 60, much less do it in just a few seconds, and you're mad. I mean, and so you pack that bicycle up, and you send it back, and you say, this is a terrible bicycle. But it's not a terrible bicycle because it's a terrible bicycle. It's a terrible bicycle because it's not a Ferrari. You see, when you're used to carrying a Sebenza, I mean, you love that, that bank vault feel. You love the precise machining, the dead centering of the blades. You love that flawless grind of the S35VN. You love that stuff. I love that stuff. But when you pick up a traditional folder and you start looking at it, sometimes the grinds are different, and the blades, they don't flip in and out like they do on your Sebenza. They're not as smooth. And you're looking at the handles and you're saying, those aren't exactly the same side to side. And there's some inconsistencies in the jigging on the bone. And if you bought a knife that has a locking blade, there might even be a little bit of up and down play in that. The blades, as you look at them, those are off center. And that one actually looks like it's bent. And you're disappointed. I mean, you're disappointed, but you're not disappointed because this is a bad knife. You're disappointed because this is a bicycle and not a Ferrari. You see, all those things that I mentioned are just part of traditional slip joints. As you're looking at, modern slip joints are made by humans with the same tools they used 100 years ago. And whenever they make these, they nest a bunch of different blades inside of the frame in a tiny, tiny space. And the point is to get them in there and get them usable, not to look pretty. And so sometimes they may intentionally grind a blade off center so that it'll drop in at the right place, or they may bend it a little bit so it'll play well with the other blades in the frame. The handle scales are hand shaped out of natural materials. And that handwork and those natural materials are the things that give these traditional knives soul. You see, you have to appreciate each knife differently. Traditional knives are fundamentally different than modern knives. Just like really cool bicycles are different than really cool cars. Some days I like to pedal around and enjoy the scenery. And some days I want a team of horses under the hood that'll put me back in my leather seats. But at the end of the day, I'm a knife guy. And I like this kind of knife. And I like this knife. I like bicycles. But I like Ferraris too. I don't have to choose.